Laura is going to take that.
At the October Finance and Administration Committee meeting, we brought forward for discussion and direction follow-up to a recommendation that we had to eliminate the requirement to license for pet owners to secure the city license each year. And the committee provided direction to go ahead and prepare the ordinances to consider that. Just to recap, really the primary functions of our licensing requirements are to ensure that animals are properly vaccinated against rabies and to allow us to reconnect animals if they're picked up by animal control with their pet owners prior to them having to be taken to a shelter. We feel like we can still accomplish both of those in the process of eliminating the requirement to come in and actually secure the city tag. And so the ordinances have been drafted. There are two separate ordinances because there are two sections of the code. The first ordinance is the fee associated with that. In Chapter 100, we talk about all of our fees and charges. So there would be an elimination of the fee that currently shows there for animal licensing. And then the second ordinance deals with the actual animal licensing and animal regulations in the city. As we discussed in October, we did not change the requirement. So anybody who has a pet within the city of Mission is still required for that animal to be vaccinated against rabies and to have to produce that certification should the animal be picked up by animal control. That would just be with the certificate from their veterinarian, which is what we use to issue the city license. So we really just removed the sections that dealt with having to then come in and get the city license. We didn't change anything with respect to any of the other picking up after your animals in terms of the waste, the barking, the special permit that's required to have an additional animal. So we have those ordinances for your consideration. And then to address the second issue of being able to keep stray and lost pets connected to their owners, and we're currently researching a couple of options to create a city database. One would be unique to us. The other that we're looking at, it currently exists, is called IDKC, and it's a database that exists that provides free ID tags for anybody in the metropolitan area to go out now. They can currently register, and so Major Sullivan and I have been working on whether that's a viable option for us or whether we would just create our own database initially.
Who provides the material?
It's a not-for-profit organization whose goal is to really reduce the number of pets going to shelters. But you log onto the website and they send you a free ID tag with a number, so if that animal is found, you log in. You know, one of the benefits of having either one of these databases is currently animal control can't access the animal licensing information that's in our governmental financial system, and so Sherry Allison and I can access that. So if an animal is picked up after hours or on weekends, they can't call in and get that information. Having the database would allow animal control to query at any point and really, I think, improve the service that we currently provide to the residents. What we would propose if we do our own database is to download or upload, if you will, the existing animal records from 2010. So trying to make it as easy as possible for current pet owners and advising them to go out and check, make sure your information is current, and then it would just be a reminder on an annual basis to keep those records updated should they want to. I'd be happy to answer any other questions.
Anybody have questions? Dave's got a dog now.
It's coincidental, isn't it?
It's coincidental. You don't
What kind of dog do you have?
Golden Retriever.
Ooh.
I recommend we take this to City Council.
So you have a written recommendation?
I did not. Recommend that the two ordinances to amend the city code and eliminate the requirements for dog, cat owners to secure an animal license annually be forwarded to council for approval.
Very good.
Second.
Do you agree?
No.
No?
No, I don't. I don't agree with it.
Well, give us your thoughts, John. What
Well, for one thing, the database and all that stuff sounds wonderful. You got to remember one thing, that over 50% of the people in this city are over the age of 55. And there's a hell of a lot of them that aren't on the computer. And they will not get that information. And for it to set up, I think they need to come in and license and get it, then we will have it. And if we want to set up a database for the city, that'd be fine. But the only way they're going to find out is if they read it or something, because they won't get it off the computer. And since it's not costing us to do what we're doing, I just can't see eliminating it, that's all.
It will be in the newsletter, I assume.
What provision is there for people that don't use computers
None?
and don't have computers? We need to look at alternative methods of communication, so what,
Well, I would think that they could contact us and we could enter that information. We'll have access to the database and we could enter that, here, just as we do in the governmental system.
so that could be like a caveat in the newsletter, if you don't have access, or you can call City
like
Hall,
the
just like
veterinarians,
phone calls kind of do.
probably going to be working with the veterinarians on this.
We talked about that, and that may be something down the road that we might, it may be a greater option if we go with this IDKC, if that looks like that's a
Okay.
feasible option.
Okay, then John's not in agreement, but we can bring it to council. Not consent. That's Laura again.